14 and has more than 20 years of training experience working in the corporate world. He's a published author and he recently earned his DTM. Today, he will be presenting a speech in preparation for the Division Humorous Speech Contest. The title of his speech is, It Pays to Know Your ABCs. Please give it up for Renato Amarena.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Come on, sing it with me.
H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
Keep going.
Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.
You do know your ABCs. Good job. How many of you learned the ABCs by singing that song? Raise your hands.
Oh, sure.
That's how I learned it. And to this very day, the only way I can go through the alphabet is by singing that song from start to finish. Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, this story happened a few years back. I was married and living in Pennsylvania, and we were visiting friends in South Jersey. And we went out there and we had a great time. We spent the whole day out there, but before I knew it, it was getting dark out, and I was looking at my watch and looking at my wife and pointing. I'm like, it's 11 o'clock, we have a 2-hour ride home, we gotta get going. So we said our goodbyes, hopped in the car, and off we went, back home. So I got on this highway, and it was pitch black. And I'm in the fast lane, and I'm driving along, and suddenly I see a set of headlights coming at me at the speed of light. This guy must have been doing 100 miles an hour. He ran right around me, cut me off, and sped down the road. He came so close to my front bumper that I turned. I swerved right into the shoulder. Within seconds, I see red and blue lights in my rearview mirror. Who pulls me over? A state trooper. Now this guy was really intimidating looking. I mean, full uniform, even a jacket, leather strap going across his chest, the hat, like a Marine style haircut, very chiseled face, very intimidating looking fellow. And he comes up to my car and he says, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" I'm like, "No, officer, I don't." He goes, "You swerved to the shoulder. Have you been drinking?" I said, "No, I haven't had a drop." He says, "Recite the alphabet for me." So I did it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, and then I stopped, thinking that that would be enough to prove to him that I'm not drunk. So he looks at me like, "Keep going." So I picked up where I left off. The only problem was I left out a letter. So now he says, "Sir, I need you to get out of the vehicle." So I get out of the vehicle and I walk over to the shoulder, and again, remember, it's pitch black. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. The shoulder is gravel, and even worse, the road is like this. It's not level. He tells me to stand with 1 foot out like this and count to 10, but not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 1001, 1002. So I tried, and I kept toppling over, and my wife's yelling from the car, "He's not drunk, he's just clumsy." Hope they're like, "Thanks a lot." So he says, "All right, sir, I want you to stand with your hands behind your back and walk over towards the police car." So I do this. I get to the police car, and I stop. And all of a sudden I hear click, and I turn around, I'm like, "What are you doing?" He says, "Sir, you're under arrest for DWI." I'm like, "But I haven't had anything to drink." He says, "Can you please give me the breathalyzer test?" He says, "Sir, that's what I'm doing." I'm like, "You have to handcuff me to give me a breathalyzer test? I mean, I don't get it." He says, "Well, I don't have it in the car, so I have to take you down to police headquarters." So he takes me down to police headquarters, and he puts me in this holding cell with several other people, and I see this young woman looking at me, and she says, "Hello." So I say hello back. And then she says, "What are you in for?" And I was embarrassed to say, "Well, I kind of messed up my ABCs." And she just laughed and said, "Bummer." So then I said, "Well, what are you in for?" And she looked at me and she said, "Prostitution." Then she says, "Say, you're kind of cute. Maybe you and I can hook up after we get out of here." So I said to her, "I may not know my ABCs, but I know about STDs. Thanks, but I'm good." Finally, the cop comes to get me out of the cell, and he says, I want you to follow my finger. So I follow his finger up and down, left and the right, and turns to the other cop and says, oh yeah, he's definitely drunk. I said, I'm not drunk, will you please give me the breathalyzer test? So he walks me over to the machine, says, blow into this tube. Within seconds, the display reads 0.00. The second the cop sees that, he unhandcuffs me. So now he escorts me to the front of the police station, and my wife is sitting there waiting. I said, come on, let's get out of here. She says, we can't. I'm like, what do you mean we can't? Why not? She says, they impounded your car. So now I go over to the other cop at the front desk and say, I need my car back. He says, sir, you can come back Monday morning at 10 o'clock to get your car. I said, I live in Pennsylvania. How am I going to get home? He said, well, we'll see what we can do, but I'm not making any promises. So we wait and wait and wait. Finally, another cop comes out, and he says, I'm going to take you to your car, to where your car's been impounded. And he drives out in the middle of nowhere. There's this old building there. Nothing else is around it. We walk in, and out comes this guy. He looks like something from Duck Dynasty. He's got baggy, dirty jeans, suspenders, a dirty white undershirt. And he looks at me and says, what can I do for you? I said, I'm here to get my car. Well, what kind of car is it? I said, it's a white Lexus. He said, oh yeah, I know that car. That'll be $200. I'm like, $200? I wasn't drunk. Don't matter to me. You want your car back? It's going to cost $200. So I'm arguing with this guy back and forth, and while I'm arguing with him, I notice he's looking at my wife. And then finally he says, well, maybe we can work something out. And he winks at my wife. I ended up paying the $200. The moral of the story, it pays to know your ABCs.